Breaking news.
Drama! Yes, drama when it comes to Manchester United.
It's all kicking off.
Man United won't break the bank for him. And if Man United won't break the bank for him, they've got other targets.
What's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Welcome back to another edition of the Transfer View. And you're watching a pre-record. Yes, you're watching a pre-record because I've been watching the wrestling last night and Flex isn't here. But I wanted to make sure you guys didn't miss any of the latest transfer news. We've got a short, sharp, sweet transfer update on all things Manchester United. And look, it's a big week. It's a big week in the world of Manchester United. It's a big 7 days. We're back in action. Yes, the honeymoon period is over. The time of not watching Manchester United lose matches or watching Man United, what they call play football, it's debatable whether that is actually the case. But watching Manchester United not ruin your emotions by playing football, time is over. Time is over for that this weekend. We're back in action. We're back in action for the first game of pre-season against Leeds. And before then, are we going to get some update when it comes to Brian Mbeumo? According to all the reports, according to, I think it was Mike McGrath, according to Fabrizio Romano, this is going to be the week. We've heard that one before. It's Groundhog Day. No, I know. But reportedly, still in talks, still talking, advancing on that. Hopefully, we'll hear something by the end of this week. Hopefully, he'll be ready for the US preseason tour. I say hopefully. Who knows? You let me know in the comment section below. Actually, let me know in the comment section below. Do you think that's going to be a thing? Do you think we're going to actually get it this week? And if so, when? Then tell me if it's going to be Thursday, KG's favorite day of the week. But I did want to talk about Marcus Rashford. An interesting update when it comes to Marcus Rashford and this potential move to Barcelona, folks. You can see it on the screen right there. The latest update has come courtesy of Flex's best friend, that being Florian Plettenberg, who has said FC Barcelona are still targeting Marcus Rashford, as he reported previously. However, Barca are currently only considering a loan. Florian understands that Rashford is very open to joining Barca, no shit, and has already given an initial green light for the move. It now depends on Barca. There is no agreement with Man United yet. Another option for Barcelona is Christopher Nkunku, a name that we've also been linked with. And it's a very strange one because I thought Friday, or whenever that thing came out, was it Friday? I think it was. I thought Rashford was the Barcelona top priority, right? Right? He's top priority. Now that they didn't get Nico Williams, now they're not going to get Luis Diaz. Rashford, he was the priority. He'd gone up the rankings from option E to option A. He's going to be the option. And now it's why we only really want a loan. And the thing is, this is kind of the sort of discussions that myself, KG, James had Friday on the Trinity, Flex myself. I don't know how many times we've spoken about it on this very show. The Rashford one, it's difficult. It's weighed down by a lot of specifics, isn't it? One being, it's very clear. For the longest time, Marcus Rashford has only wanted Barcelona. He wanted to move to Barcelona in the winter. They said, look, mid-season, we just cannot do that even alone. We'll look at it in the summer, basically. So Rashford's still got to play. He's not going to stay at United. Goes on loan to Aston Villa, even though they had the option. His first interview, I'm not going to be here for a long time. Just laying the foundation there. And of course, he didn't end up staying at Aston Villa. But he had a fairly decent loan spell there. Played football. Had a couple of good performances. And Aston Villa, of course, went deep into the Champions League. And then goes back to United. Obviously, it's then the same story of, well, United don't want you. You don't want to stay at United. It's over. You can use the training ground, but you're not going to be in team training. But anyone that wants to come in for him, it's going to be more difficult because he's got a big contract. And people, are they going to be willing to make the same mistakes that Man United have for big contracts? No. And then further complicating matters is he only wants Barca. He's been saying it for 6 months. So really, it's Barca or bust. And the problem with that is, Barca, you've never, maybe this is just me, and maybe I'm just projecting it, but you don't get the impression, do you, that Barca are really pursuing it that much? It's almost like out of sort of reluctance. They tried to get Nico Williams. how much was £58 million? He stays at Bilbao. They tried to get Luis Diaz, and they were willing to pay money, transfer fees for those players. And no. Now it's like, I guess we'll get Rashford. And look, maybe those deals are different. Once again, what does it go back to? Wages. It goes back to the wages. Marcus Rashford is on more money than Luis Diaz. He's on more money than Nico Williams. So they have to bridge that gap. Reportedly, Rashford would be willing to take a pay cut. How much? Would he be willing to forego Manchester United paying him off? If they said, look, we can get you to Barca, but we can't give you the money that you're owed. If he just really desperately wants that move, then maybe stuff like that can work. My prediction, my feeling is, it's always felt kind of loanish, hasn't it? And I think James said it on Friday on the Trinity, that if he goes to Barcelona and he does well, then maybe they'll pick up that option. It just feels like the most likely outcome is a loan with an option, not obligation either, just loan with an option. Plays, hopefully does well. He's going to the League of Champions. They might win the league again, and then they decide, okay, we'll keep you. A permanent exit, it just feels really, really unlikely. So I know, obviously, you go to Florian Plettenberg's post on X where he says this, and obviously everyone's going, well, that's it then. A loan's not going to happen. People are going 40 million, no loans. And obviously that's the preferable outcome. 40 million, he's an academy player, so it's pure profit. You can turn it into 80, 120 million pounds. You get his wages off the salary. That's perfect. That's perfect. I don't know. And I know that people will go, but they were willing to pay money for Nico Williams. They were willing to pay money for Luis Diaz, which is true. So Man United have that sort of negotiating leverage, I suppose, to say, well, you're going to pay this amount for him, so you can easily give us 40 million pounds, or maybe less, even 30 million quid, and then put the rest of the money on the wages. I suppose they could, and maybe that's what United might go for, but it just feels like a loan's the most likely option. The ones in terms of, people going to sell, it feels like Sancho, we're going to sell him, not for a lot of money. We'll probably have to pay him off. Garnacho, we'll sell him, but even Romano came out over the weekend and basically repeated the same thing, which is Garnacho wants to stay in the Premier League, which felt like his agent going to Romano saying, by the way, Garnacho wants to stay in the Premier League. We haven't had many biters on that one yet. Antony, you still feel like we're going to sell him, but the whole Real Betis situation with that's gone quiet. So I don't know. I mean, Barca may only want a Rashford loan. The ideal situation is maybe we can work something out where it's a permanent one. It's not a lot of money. We take the hit. I know it's pure profit, and we try and get as much as you can, but at least it's done. It's over, because the concern would be what happens if the loan doesn't work out. They'll run back into the same situation next year again of where's he going to go? Is Ruben Amorim going to be around there? And at that point, is Rashford going to be reintegrated? I can't be bothered with it. I don't know about you guys. I just really can't. I can't be doing with the sagas. We've got so many with Sancho, with Rashford, with Garnacho. It just, it's more drama than an episode of EastEnders. It's ridiculous. Coronation Street in this one, I guess, is more appropriate location-wise. But you get my point. You get my point with that. So Barca only want a Rashford loan. If I had to predict now, on Monday, July 14th, is he going to end up going there on loan? I would say yes. I still don't think this one happens till very late in the window, maybe even in the final days of it. Ideally, it wouldn't, but where I think this one's going. But we shall see. Smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. A reminder, we'll be live this evening, red carpet, 7 p.m. Plenty to discuss, as always, with the panel. We'll be back to our regular scheduled programming tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. on Tuesday live. When's Flex back? So either Tuesday or Wednesday. So we'll be sorted soon. But then, of course, he'll be leaving me again because he'll be going to Sweden. I would assume he's traveling to Sweden Friday, I think. Traveling on Friday to Sweden. And, of course, we'll have a match. I'll be here in the Asylum. Fleck and Just Josh Media Graphics Guru Visual Ninja will be in Sweden at the game, Manchester United versus Leeds, and preseason begins. Preseason begins. The chaos begins. Good grief! Just we need to do movement needs to happen transfer wise this week. Just out of self-preservation, at the very least, just self-preservation of like some kind of silver lining. It's going to be fine. It's going to be totally fine. Yes, smash the like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. As I mentioned, red carpet coming up at 7 p.m. this evening. More content coming soon. Of course, if anything does happen during the day, I would do my very best to make sure you guys are updated. We can go live or record videos, you name it, at a drop of a hat. And I'll be back very, very soon, hopefully with some good news. I'm out of here. Peace.